welcome one, welcome all to Pit Road Productions. It is time for the next round of the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League, the Washington DC Region chapter of the Sports Car Club of America, running multi-class this season with the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup and the Toyota GR86 Cup. We're here at a track that should be very familiar to all of our competitors, WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna, Seca. It is a tough track that dives and weaves around the hills of California, around a lake bed, which incidentally is where the track gets its name. Laguna Seca is Spanish for dry lake bed. So yeah, let's see how dry they'll be able to keep things out there on the circuit today, with a half-hour race ahead of us here on Pit Road Productions. My name is Reese Gardner. Joining me in the commentary box and also producing behind the scenes is Daniel Zippy Salmon. Zippy, Laguna Seca is a track that I think everyone has at least some feeling about, most of it positive. Is it part of your Princess-approved track list?
It is. Actually, honestly, it's one of those that I'll drive. I've never had a lot of pace here, but certainly it's a fun track. It's an enjoyable track. And certainly, myself, actually, last time I raced here, I actually won my class in that race. Particularly, actually, I got 2 wins out of that. Much to my surprise, I didn't even realise I'd done it. But certainly, a couple of ambitious moves can be done, made into turn 1 indeed. But certainly, the corkscrew, it is a little bit of a prisoner in its own right. And certainly myself, I'm a big fan. That thing drops about 3 stories, ladies and gentlemen. So it certainly adds a interesting dynamics for this racetrack.
Yeah, certainly does. And it's not the widest track in the world in that section either, which could...
And ladies and gentlemen, we have indeed lost Reese Gardner. As lovely as he is, we've lost him. We can see his lips are moving, but the sound is not coming out, as indeed he is still going to town. Yep, and wait for it. You're going to get the disgruntled look on his face as he realizes he's lost his mic. Yep, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Reese Gardner. But we're going to head over to the schedule and see where we've been and where we're going. We started off at Road Atlanta, my personal favorite, with Summit Point for round 2, Hungaroring. We're going to start right for round 3, but Imola for round 4. Certainly difficult with off-tracks there. Round 5 gave us a special event, with round 6 taking us to Aragon. Round 7 was Motorsport, with round 8 being Laguna Seca. Round 9 of Donington Park. But we head over to round 10 for VIR, and again having a very special round for round 11. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, absolutely fantastic schedule. And already the chat is lighting up with people we have. First in the chat, Perfect Jan, oh my gosh. I got an ulcer on my tongue, and it's incredibly hard to talk at times. Perfect Jen, ladies and gentlemen. She's in the chat, as is Amy Housel as well. We've also got the one and only Gwendolyn Hauser in there, who I believe is cheering on Jack Chrissy as well. We got calling out, wondering where indeed Jason has gone as well. But Reese, I understand you have returned.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Thank goodness. Yeah, apparently that was a Discord issue. I'm not entirely sure. A bit different from the issues that I've been suffering recently. So the plot thickens. The mystery continues to deepen. Let's see what Sherlock Reese can do in the coming days to try and find that one out. Anyway, we should check out the championship standings, shouldn't we, Zippy? Because it's certainly looking like DJ Alessandrini is on course to take yet another title here. He is 15 points ahead of Jack Chrissy, with Klaus Woods starting to narrow that gap to second place, but the battle for third on back is absolutely fantastic. Adam Kobach sitting on 63 points, fourth place. Raul Iriarte only 3 points behind him. And then you just need to go another 4 points back to Kevin Zhu, Mike Leader, Jake King, Thomas Lathrop, Cooper Van Horn, all of those drivers in more than striking distance of each other in the top 10.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. But again, it's been a close battle here in the GR86 field, as well as Ken Denner joins the chat as well. Colin Denner, meanwhile, though, is top of the food chain when it comes to GR86. He's there with 97 points. Michael Montello, about 15 points back with 82 in second. Then it gets a little bit closer again. Third place onward. Ken Housel's there with 71. Franz Hansen is there with 68, and indeed a little bit more of a gap for Anthony Montello. He's going to round out your top 5, but even then, close, just 1 point between them. Montello and Mark McCloy by now for 5th place. Further down, though, looks like Nelson Daniel and Paul Darling duking it out as well. But then, realistically, from P10 onwards, it could go anywhere. There's a 4-5-way fight going on between Alvin Nagoya, Jonathan Crane, Brian Taylor, Timothy Homan, and indeed Brian Schlichthoff.
Indeed, there is super close fighting in the GR86 class, and we still have a couple of rounds left of this championship. I believe it's round 9, so next week is going to be the last points-paying round of the season before we have our special event for round 11. So this is where things get set up for the conclusion of the title fight. Let's see who can take advantage of DJ Alessandrini not being here this week. He has had to take a week off. And we'll see if Declan Ward, Tom O'Gorman, Adam Kobach can use that to get some fantastic points opportunities. We are in qualifying at the moment. But for now, I think it is time to see our sponsors, partners, and supporters flashing up on the screen and thank them. OG Racing, the official motorsports safety gear and equipment supplier to the Washington DC region, staffed by racers for racers. OG stocks everything from helmets, driving suits, shoes and gloves, seats, data systems, and top quality brake pads from PFC, Hawk, and Paget. With over 35 years of supporting racers, OG Racing has earned a reputation for providing exceptional customer service in the industry, staffed by an expert team that ensures you have the gear you need to go fast and stay safe. Visit their 12,000 square foot warehouse in Sterling, Virginia.
Indeed, that's just one of the sponsors. Since 1976, Radial Tire Company has proudly served the DC area, providing quality tires and exceptional service. Renowned as a premier specialist in hard-to-find performance tires and wheel applications, they stock tires from top manufacturers ranging from trucks to sports cars and racing machines. Their mission is to maximize your vehicle's potential on the road and the track. Ladies and gentlemen, the best bang for buck you can spend other than driver training, but if you're going to go and spend physically on your vehicle to go faster, is indeed tires. By all means, check out Radial Tire Company.
Absolutely. Also check out RP Performance, which for over 30 years has been at the heart of racing as a neighbor to Summit Point Raceway and standing out as the premier race car shop specializing in street and track Mazdas. In addition to track support and transport, RP is a full-service shop helping drivers with their racing and other track event needs. Known for their helpful attitude, RP works diligently to get cars back on track, ensuring a positive experience for all at all Summit Point events. RP has also accrued many wins and championships within various classes under the RP Performance banner, so you know you're getting the best service out there from RP Performance.
Indeed, we come on to my next favorite sponsor, ladies and gentlemen. It's Belmont Classic Cars, a family-owned dealership located in Eastern Ohio, specializing in classic American muscle cars from the 1960s and 70s. We actually got a Camaro in there right now, and indeed an old Blazer as well. I gotta admit, guys, my dream car from that era, Reese, I'm sure you're gonna relate to this one, Eleanor. I'm not talking about a lady, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds. Now, that would be my favorite car from that era. Certainly, if you don't know that car, by all means, you're going to understand exactly what I mean. Nicolas Cage, maybe not quite as fun. But anyway, they pride themselves on selling iconic rides and only offer cars they would want to add to their collection. Established in 2017, the owners, Andy and Dana Mistak, inherited their passion for cars from their fathers, avid enthusiasts of Chevy and Ford vehicles. Outside of family business, the entire family has been involved in racing from motocross, trophy trucks, and their new endeavor of road racing.
Finally, last but not least, Grand Touring Enterprises, an internationally recognized full-service classic automotive facility located in Frederick, Maryland, with a mission of keeping legends in motion. Their commitment to classic vehicles spans service, restoration, secure climate-controlled storage, sales, and consignment. Grand Touring also offers full collection-level consultation and management services alongside concours-level detailing. Their focus is on preserving the history and prestige of the vehicles under their care and ensuring the driving experience is equally spectacular and authentic. It's always good to see a classic car in its prime, and of course Grand Touring Enterprises helps to bring that to fruition.
Yeah, certainly indeed a absolutely fantastic opportunity we have here to have WDCR here on board with us, and indeed on board with Pit Road Productions, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, let's take a look at Jack Chrissy, who's about to potentially start another lap.
Indeed. Take a tour around Laguna Seca in the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup. Slow final corner. It's all about traction on the way out. Nail your throttle input, and you've got the best run down the start-finish stretch. This is turn 1 technically, and then the braking starts for the Andretti hairpin at turn 2. Bit of an early turn in there for Chrissy. Double apex hairpin to bring you out into the infield section, which was added in 1986. Braking as late as you dare, trying to flow the car through into these medium speed corners, the only part of this circuit with no elevation change, so it's the most technical part of the lap. But then you start going uphill again when you rejoin the track's original layout, coming here into turn 6. Easy does it on your way out. That's a bit too much curve for Jack Chrissy, but we'll find our way to turn 6 now. A dip and banking on the way in. Got to be careful of the sausage curve on the way out. A little bit of internet issues for Jack Chrissy as he makes his way up to the corkscrew, braking at the number 3 marker, and then the track completely falls away from you. That's the 3-story drop that Zippy was talking about at the start of the show. Chrissy is evidently having some big internet issues here on this lap, but he's made his way through turns 8 and 9, and then he'll make his way through to the final corner, braking as late as possible once again into the final corner to start it all over again. Laguna Seca is only 3.6 kilometers long, and that is going to result in a lap of about 1 minute and 21 seconds in the Porsche class. Whee! Meanwhile, in GR86s, yeah, Montello having some issues there. They can complete a lap in about 1 minute and 33 seconds at the very top of the field.
Not with me driving the car.
No, but if Ken Housel and Alex Nickrant are behind the wheel, they can do 134 flats, maybe dip into the 133s. We're keeping an eye on Nelson Daniel for the moment. He's currently the last of the drivers that have set a time. We are waiting potentially on times from Carl Lanunziata, Jonathan Crane and Benson Tai. Looks like Tai and Lanunziata are active in the session at the moment, so they will be able to get times on the board. But for the moment, looks like the majority of our Porsche field have set their requisite lap times, mid-121s, as Tom O'Gorman is the one topping the standings at the moment.
Well, while these guys are just bringing an end to qualifying, Reese, why don't we talk about this?
Absolutely. While we have a moment here, it's coming time for our 250th show here on Pit Road Productions, and we've decided to celebrate with a greatest hits, racer champions kind of deal. Everyone who's been involved in a race broadcast by Pit Road Productions is cordially invited to this event on Wednesday, March the 25th. The broadcast going live at 8:15 Eastern Time, with the server going up at 7:30 for practice and qualifying for Race 1, the Spec Racer Ford at Donington Park Grand Prix. We'll be racing that one for 20 minutes, and then after a short break we go for Race 2, 35 minutes around Road Atlanta in the Radical SR10, two of the best cars that have been involved in broadcasts here on Pit Road Productions. Make sure to register for the league. Join the league. The league ID is down there in the bottom left-hand corner, and make sure that you're on the Pit Road Productions Discord as well. It's going to be a fantastic little day out, Zippy. We're going to be racing in this one as well. So if you have any beef with us from our commentary over the last couple of years, then yeah, this is your chance to take us out.
Yeah, absolutely. Indeed, that was going to be the incentive I was going to offer. Certainly, if you want to come out and race wheel with us, this is your biggest chance to do it. Usually myself and Reese are both here in the booth, and if not, one of us might sneak out on track every now and again. But certainly, if you want to come and give us a hard time, you may be in for a shock. Actually, Reese Gardner, incredibly impressive driver. You wouldn't think it looking at the guy. He's definitely a bit of a history buff in the nicest of ways, but the man can shift. Fair play to him, that man can shift. Myself, not the fastest on pace, but I will be the biggest pain in the ass if I can catch up to you and indeed make your life a living hell. You'll be occupied looking in the mirror more than Ryan Gosling on a Friday night.
Boy, oh boy. I think the Spec Racer Ford's probably going to be the one that I'm more successful in. I'm not that good at the Radical SR10, so I'm going to be gunning for Race 1 honours there. Well, Benson Tai, with only 10 seconds remaining in the session, has gotten a lap time on the board and has managed to get past Nelson Daniel. But the clock hits 0, and with that, Everyone's spat back to the pits who's still out on track, and we'll be getting into the 30-minute sprint race to come. No pit stop required, but you never know. We might see a few drivers touring into the pits with damage if there's problems on the first lap. The grid then. Tom O'Gorman is going to start in pole position with Jack Chrissy alongside him. It's a big points opportunity for Chrissy and O'Gorman with DJ Alessandrini absent today. Declan Ward going to start P3 alongside Klaus Wood, with Adam Kobach and Kevin Zhu rounding out the top 6. Michael Brook is going to start in 7th spot, a place that he's started quite a few times this season, alongside Jake King. Wally Heidercheck and Raul Iriarte will round out your top 10. Then it's Mike Leader and Thomas Lathrop in 11th and 12th. The Porsche field rounded out by Max King and Cameron Guth before we go to the GR86's Zippy.
I have a feeling we've got a couple of new drivers here today, Reese. But Ken Housel is indeed going to lead the GR86 class with Alex Nikren making an appearance in 2nd. Michael Montello is going to have to settle for 3rd, with Colin Denno alongside in 4th. Anthony Montello, he's going to be there behind his brother in 5th, with Mark McLuhan in 6th. It's a good opportunity for Mark. Charles Miller's going to take 7th, with Louis Alessi in 8th. And then moving back to 9th now, we've got Brian Taylor alongside Alvin to go. Benson Tye takes 11th, with Nelson Daniel. My apologies, it's too small for read. I can't see it. I'll put my binoculars on. Nelson Daniel is going to be there in 12th, with Kyle Lunziato in 13th, and indeed Jonathan Crane not setting a time in 14th.
Maybe you need one of those mini binoculars on a stick that people used to use in the theatre. That would be an ideal setup for you, I think, Zippy. Well, we're starting now on the grid and just waiting on our 3rd place man, Declan Ward, to jump onto the grid. Yeah, it looks like we're seeing 27 of our 28 drivers getting onto the grid for the moment. And now, just in time, Declan Ward joins up and we can tour away around the pace lap. You'll notice that the skies are quite dark. It is sunset here at Laguna Seca, 7:52 p.m. in sim time, and the track temperature is nice and cool as a result. In fact, July in sim, which means it's the middle of summer, and summers can get quite hot in California, but the dry air also means that the temperatures plummet at night. So now the sun's getting below the horizon, the drivers won't have much trouble maintaining their grip with those cooler track temperatures.
Yeah, so I'm gonna wonder as well. Are we going to see it getting a little bit more into the night as well? Certainly, I'm not quite sure what time sunset is, but myself, it does remind me actually of a Sebring 12-hour race once. I think I told you this story the other day, Reese. Actually, we did a Sebring 12-hour, and there was another fun part of that evening as well, involving a. I can't say it on stream, but let's just say it was a part of a cow in an innuendo, and the guy had no idea. I gave it to him as a nickname, and he had his wife calling him it, his kids calling him it, his neighbor calling him it, and this went on for about 6-7 months, and then he finally realized what it meant. So certainly a fun backstory there for off the air. Indeed, use your imagination on that one. But we did actually find that the Corvette GTE, I was able to run personal bests if I had no headlights and it was dark.
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic.
Sebring isn't lit all the way around either, which is deeply concerning as well. So I guess muscle memory and indeed a couple of the cars behind me were helping to illuminate the way.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll see if the drivers suffer the same issue here at Laguna Seca. Headlights are on in both of our classes, so I think we are technically past sunset at the moment, but still plenty of light hitting the racetrack, still able to see everyone, ideally with what little sunlight is left. Short formation lap here at Laguna Seca. We are just about done with it and getting ready for Tom O'Gorman to lead us to the start here. O'Gorman, with plenty of real-world racing experience. He's raced in Pirelli World Challenge, among other championships, and that's the case for a lot of the drivers in this field today. Pretty much everyone involved here is from the Washington DC Region Sports Car Club of America chapter, and this is their chance to race in the virtual world. Starting right now, apparently, Tom O'Gorman accelerating out of the final corner to lead us away to the start. Jack Chrissy and Declan Ward battling behind him for 3rd place. The green flag flies and the clock starts, and O'Gorman is unpressured into turn 1, but we do see Adam Kobach making a move on Klaus Wood, and it looks like Kevin Zhu might try to do the same.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic move there by Kevin Zhu as we get the GR86 field underway as well as already Michael Montello able to make his way up one spot. Already seen 2 wide, potentially 3 wide happening in past the track. Ken Housel, though, able to hold him off. And indeed, we've got a fight happening further back here as it's Anthony Montello going side by side here with Colin Denner.
Yep, Colin Denner up the top of those standings, and he's been fighting for that championship P1 for a while, but Ken Housel has gotten away to a great lead already. Michael Montello holding on nicely to second place. The battle for third is on with Colin Denner on the back of Alex Nickrant, who's down a position from where he started, all the way in the rear bumper of the GR86 ahead. The cornering speed these cars can carry is fantastic. Laguna Seca, the perfect track for them as it's side by side through the corkscrew. Klaus Wood. Klaus Wood under pressure. Jake King made his way past him there, and looks like Michael Brooks going to try and gain a position back as well as into the gravel for Jack Chrissy. Got to be careful with Declan Ward and Adam Kovac pressuring him. Kevin Zhu, meanwhile, has got Jake King up the inside, and Wally Heidercheck getting passed by Max King at the end of lap 1, back to 10th place for Wally.
Indeed, it looks like the Portsfield is indeed starting to spice up here as Kevin Zhu, he's managed to make himself out one position as well, but Jake King is absolutely on it, and that's made it free, ladies and gentlemen, as he goes around the inside of turns 1 and 2.
Best overtaking opportunity on the track is turn 2. You've got that long start-finish straight, or, well, it's not really a straight. The start-finish stretch, let's call it, and heavy braking downhill. Good opportunity to send one up the inside. Looks like we're going to be seeing Alex Nickrant try to do that here on Colin Denner to get back into third in GR86. Very short braking distances in the GR86 Cup. Alex Nickrant will complete the move beautifully there. The second apex giving him the advantage, but there's going to be a fight back there from Colin Denner. Look at him up the inside of turn 3. Anthony Montello is going to try and do the same thing here in the technical section. Hello. Off the track a little bit there. Pink Panther up into third. Nicely done.
Yeah, I think we had more fun in that than they did, to be honest. I think Jen will enjoy it as well. She said she's stressed, so I hope you feel better after that little bit of karaoke there from myself and Reese.
Yes. Oh, that was a little hit of the curb there from Nickrant, and you've got to be careful of that. There's smoke in the background as well. Someone's had a problem there, fallen off. Not entirely sure who. Potentially Kyle Annunziata ran a bit deep in turn 6. On the way in, on the way out. Oh, yep, that's off into the gravel. Of course, the scan of this track on iRacing is a little bit older than the real-world state of the track currently. There's been extra asphalt laid either side of the racetrack in that section. So in the real world, you've got something to save you if you run deep. Not so in the sim. Need to be very careful of that. Battle for Porsche continuing. The top 3 have both broken away from the rest of the field and spaced out relative to each other. So now this fight for 4th is on. Declan Ward holding off Jake King, Kevin Zhu, Michael Brook, and Max King here has got Klaus Wood for a bit of company across the top.
Indeed, Max King has managed to make his way up 5 positions as well, and it's looking like he's trying to apply a bit of pressure into Michael Brock, who's just ahead. Kevin Zhu there, giving a wheel in the grass. What's happening here with Thomas Lafrock? He makes a move going into the corkscrew. That's brave, and it's fair to say he didn't quite get away with it. I think that was Mike Leader actually finding his way ahead.
Yeah, it looks like Mike Leader. Yes, indeed. Whoa! In the background, Wojtek Heidercheck has found the gravel, and he falls to last place in the Porsches. He was falling down the order on that lap quite substantially, dropping like a stone. But thankfully, he's gotten rolling again. Max King has got Klaus Wood and Raul Iriarte surrounding him at the moment. Let's see what he can do to defend here into the first turn. Iriarte has the door open to the inside. Is he going to try and go for it? No. Max King positioning his car perfectly there.
I gotta say, the battling in this Porsche Cup field has been nothing short of incredible. And in the GR86s as well, just not quite the same rate of speed. But I gotta say, Klaus Wood, he's currently down 4 positions. We know he's got pace, but is he gonna be able to deliver it in the race part of this portion?
Yes, that is the question. There's an awful lot that you have to do to keep consistent around Laguna Seca. It's all well and good being able to nail a single lap around here, but there's so much flow and rhythm to this place that it can be quite difficult to string laps together. Thomas Lathrop going to defend from Mike Leader there on the way into turn 6 and gets the run on the way up the hill. It's quite the uphill grade as well, so if you're compromised out of turn 6, you just keep losing until you get into the corkscrew. Leader cranking on the wheel to try and get those front end tires to grip. The Porsche around Laguna Seca, I would imagine, is quite the experience with the front end getting lighter as the fuel burns off.
Honestly, they went through the corkscrew just then, Reese, on that camera. I could feel the weightlessness as they went and crested the curb. But right now, I've got to say, Thomas Lathrop and Mike Leader have been going hard at it pretty much this entire race. These two guys have been exchanging positions pretty much constantly, lap after lap. But right now, despite the fact they're back there in P11 and P12, they are having an absolute hoop of race here as we check in with the GR86 field. Colin Denner has fallen back a little bit here, but Ken Housel, he's got pressure here for Michael Montello.
Yeah, it's on for the lead of GR86. Ken Housel, one of the only GR86s to maintain his starting position. We'll see what he can do here as Montello tries to nail the exit of the corkscrew, doesn't quite, so there's going to be some advantage for Ken Housel coming down the hill, but a bit more curb for Michael Montello. He gets all of that back on the way through the left-hander. There's a beautiful sequence of corners coming down the hill here. It's ultimately an 8-story drop or thereabouts from the top of the corkscrew to the final corner, something like that. Yeah, 3 of those stories alone through the corkscrew. It's an incredible piece of racetrack, and it's been that way roughly since the 1950s. It's a long history that this circuit has, built on the grounds of Fort Ord, a U.S. military training airfield. Brian Taylor then in 9th place, trying to make a move on Louis Alessi, picking up a slight bit of slipstream into the Andretti hairpin, and wide on the way in, he's going to try and late apex this baby.
Yeah, certainly a little bit of over-under never hurt anybody. Just got to get that a little bit closer. I do find the GR86, the racing is fantastic, but it's actually incredibly hard to make it past them, at least from my experience. I've never really been able to connect well with the GR86, but certainly reminds me a little bit of the TCR class as well. The racing is incredibly close, but to get ahead, you've almost got to do a little bit of a bump and run.
Yeah, you do. And we've seen as well in the Porsche classes, the second place and first place battle continues to rage on in GR86. In Porsche Cup, Adam Koback losing out a little bit to Jake King and Declan Ward. He is now within a second of them as they are encountering GR86 traffic past Nelson Daniel on the way into turn 6 is Adam Koback. And now he's got Albert Ngo and Benson Tai ahead on the way into the corkscrew. This is going to get tight, switching from one side of the track to the other. Adam Koback just makes it through in time as it's side by side between our classes behind. Oh, little bit of an off-track excursion there for Albert Ngo. He'll have to serve a slowdown from that potentially, and he'll make way for Michael Brockers. That's Klaus Wood that's gone off at the corkscrew.
Yeah, it says how with Thomas Lathrop as well. It tells me that he has come down pit road.
Oh, yes, that's not ideal. That's a tow. Thomas Lathrop with a crash, apparently. What's happened to him here? This is out of turn 6. Oh, dearie me. Well, he didn't end up hitting the wall, but apparently he's called that a night from there. And Thomas Lathrop will not make any further moves in this race, as Klaus Wood is also in the pit lane. We saw him off at the corkscrew. Potentially, he's hit the wall and picked up some damage.
Yeah, let's take a look here, Rhys.
All right, so on the way out here...
Oh, Jake King there.
That's not ideal.
No, is that Jake King? Yeah.
No. Yeah? Well, that's far from ideal for Klaus Wood in any case. The problem that he had was hitting the front end and a little bit of the rear on the concrete wall. It was just past the tyre barriers as well.
Max King.
Yeah, it was Max King, teammate, of course, to Jake King. So that's unfortunate. His problems have continued. He'll get rolling again and put some gravel on the racetrack on the run up to the corkscrew, and that's a fall to P12. Happened just ahead of Raul Iriarte, who was right on the money with his evasive maneuver.
Well, indeed, looks like things are starting to shake up here in the GR86 field. As indeed, the 911s are indeed making their way past. Ken Housel has managed to maintain that gap, but it looks like Colin Denner now has been able to get himself into the mix for the freeway fight for the lead.
Yes, as the Porsches made their way past the GR86s, that results in some compromised lines. You have to give up some pace in order to gain it back and make way for the pursuing faster class. And so our top 3 in GR86 make that our top 4, with Anthony Montello starting to gain a little bit more. We'll see them compress as things go forward. It's always an entertaining race in GR86. I've become so used to seeing DJ Alessandrini just drive away from everybody in the Porsche class that I'm surprised that the battles are still quite close here. We're keeping an eye on Kevin Zhu and Michael Brook battling for P6. It's almost always these top 5 positions that are under the most contention in the Porsche class. Brook very late on the brakes into the corkscrew to try and keep up with Kevin Zhu, and it looks like he might have lost a bit of time there.
I gotta admit, I was impressed he got that stop there. I mean, despite the fact I'm in the Maritimes, I felt like I was going to have to ship the guy an anchor, indeed throw it overboard at the back of that Porsche. But right now, fair play to him. That's one of the battles we've got going on. As Adam Kovac now taking a bit of pressure here from the number 3 car of Jake King.
Nice exit from Jake King, trying his best to keep up in the slipstream. Adam Kovac has held on to 3rd for the majority of this race after starting in 5th. And that's going to be a bit wide for the cars ahead of him there. We have actually seen Klaus Wood re-emerge back onto the racetrack. Thomas Lathrop, our only retiree from the race so far. Wood is down in 13th place, still on the lead lap, potentially? No? Oh dear. Hello. Indeed. GR86 versus 911 action. Ken Housel has lost a position to Colin Denner there. Michael Montello will lead the race in the GR86 class. And it looks like Ken just pushed a bit too hard there. No Porsches involved in that one. Michael Montello right there to take advantage coming into turn 5. Housel giving him as much room as he likes on the way into the left-hander.
Indeed, I gotta say, well, I'm not quite sure how Colin Denner then went and did the move as well. Let's take a look at that.
Maybe thrown offline by a Porsche. No, it was a move up the inside of the final corner. Very nicely done from Colin Denner. That's the other clear overtaking opportunity around this place.
Well, indeed, he's definitely made it work, and indeed, right now, he's managed to get a Porsche between himself and Ken Housel. So indeed, if Ken loses that draft, he's going to find it incredibly difficult. Michael Montello, though, able to find his way at the front of the GR field. Meanwhile, though, the more battles happening back. It looks like Albin Ago's getting into a battle here with Benson Tai.
Yes, 2 drivers who started more towards the back of the field. Albert Ngo is technically overall in the same position he started in, but potentially a position down in class. Benson Tai, meanwhile, making up a position or 2 on his way through. So these guys are going to give each other quite the fight. Again, no pit stop expected for either of our classes with the half-hour race format. So there won't be any thought to strategy. It's just keeping yourself consistent and fast the whole way through. And speaking of the time of this race, we are rapidly approaching the halfway point. I'm seeing about 11 laps remaining for our GR86s and 12 laps or so for our Porsche class. Tom O'Gorman has jetted out to a 5.2 second lead at the front of this field. So it will still be potentially a Lizard Brains podcast guy on top. Jack Chrissy in second, Adam Kovac in third, but Jake King and Declan Ward not too far behind for the podium battle.
Yeah, indeed, these guys are absolutely duking now. Looks like Declan Ward, he's currently down 2 positions. Jake King, the hardest charger right now in the 911 Cup field. Indeed, it looks like he's going to be under attack here from Declan Ward. He's been pretty potent since he showed up. And indeed, Jake King is having to work hard. He's not been able to focus on Kovac because he's got an eye on his mirrors, even an eye on the number 16.
Yes, indeed. So, through the technical infield section of the lap, which was built as part of a potential Formula One bid for Laguna Seca in the 1980s. It didn't end up happening, but it certainly helped the track's future with this newer section. Rejoining the old layout, you see that access road off there to the left. That is where the track used to go. There didn't used to be a hairpin to start off the lap. It was a big left-hand sweeper that carried you at high speed onto this section of the track. The place used to be a lot narrower in previous years as well. This is a long-time circuit, very historic indeed, and its future has been under threat recently, as Declan Ward has to serve a slowdown coming out of the corkscrew. That's going to make him lose touch with Jake King now. Hopefully, the issues that the track is facing in the real world do not come to fruition, and we see Laguna Seca be a part of the motorsport world for a long time to come. New fastest lap from Tom O'Gorman, 121.4.
I do believe it's actually a place in Ohio recently where the local government actually stepped in, because a racetrack was built many years ago, and then housing migrated and started to build up around the racetrack, and then complained about the racetrack making too much noise, despite the fact they moved in down the road from it. And the local government stood up and basically said, if you don't like it, do one. And I honestly feel that has to happen a bit more. I'm sorry, but if you go and buy a house that is near a racetrack and then complain that there is a racetrack and it's noisy, well, I'll say it, are a complete tool. So fair play to the Ohio local government, who indeed put a rightness to that as well. But certainly I got to say that Laguna Seca or Vegas, at least Laguna Seca, I can't see any manhole covers that have been able to become up and kill any multi-million-dollar Ferraris or indeed other Formula 1 cars as well.
For sure. It's really good to see that that there's some pushback against that tendency that we've noticed in recent years of people moving in next to racetracks and complaining about the noise. It's been quite an issue in the UK, in particular in the last 20 years or so. There's multiple circuits in the United Kingdom that are only restricted to running on certain days and have noise restrictions applied because of noise complaints. But hopefully we'll... Yeah, it is ridiculous. I absolutely hate it, and I think we're in a safe space where everyone will agree with us on that one. But for now, we'll keep an eye on these GR86 battles. Alex Nickrant is now making his way back up to Anthony Montello. Nickrant has been trying his best to maintain his top position in the class, but it's proven a bit difficult. That's a nice run out of turn 6, though. Maybe he'll have a run at the corkscrew.
Yeah, definitely. It's an ambitious move, but it can be done indeed, as the door very firmly closed there. If he wants to try and get it done, he's going to have to pull something a little bit more out of the hat there from Alex Nickrant.
Yeah, had to have the move covered there, so Nickrant is not going to be able to get past Anthony Montello for the moment, but with still 12.5 minutes remaining in the running, I'm sure that there's going to be more to come in this battle. Saw Adam Kobach and Jake King trading spots in the Porsche field. Kobach is back into third with King back into fourth, and now the battle seems to be for second. The overall lead has ballooned out to 7.8 seconds for Tom O'Gorman. Max King, meanwhile, on Wally Heidercheck. That's a bit deep there for the number 8 car. Big old switch there from Max King, and he's forced Wally tight through this left-hander, which tightens up on the way out, so his line's been compromised massively there. Is there going to be any chance to make a move at the final corner? Max King was thinking about it, but he'll have to wait for the Andretti hairpin.
Absolutely beautiful exit as they're going to make their way around the outside of lap traffic. Actually, I almost looked like it might know if it was a Liberty Bell livery just then. Not quite sure. Indeed, we're looking forward to seeing Liberty Bell. As I can say, Perfect Jen is going on the bachelorette party in Vegas. When is it? I'd like to go. That sounds like a lot of fun. I could be the driver. I've got the accent. I'm a great talented driver. And honestly, it just sounds like a lot more fun time than any nights out I've been on recently. But indeed, Wally Heidercheck definitely under a good bit of pressure here. Max King is certainly keeping him honest, despite the fact Wally's down one position. He's got pace, ladies and gentlemen. Currently doing a 123.7. He's got pace, but certainly compared to the rest of the field, he's slowed down a little bit there. Most of them are rocking in the 122s right now.
Yes, it seems that the tyres are starting to get past their best here. It is only a short race, but you still have to think about tyre life. You can't push the tyres too hard and risk overheating them. Heidercheck then still fighting with Max King there as that's some GR86 traffic they have to encounter, and Max King figured it was probably best to get back behind Wally, but while they cleared the traffic, they have managed to do that. It's Benson Tai, who it seems has not only been passed by Albert No recently, but has lost touch with Albert as well.
I gotta say, he handled that traffic incredibly well. Let's take a look to see what happened to him.
Right, Benson Tai was fighting through the...
Oh!
Oh, God, that's contact there with Declan Ward.
He got murdered on that one, buddy. That looked like it hurt.
Well, at the very least, punched. Didn't find the wall, and seems to have escaped damage for the most part, but that was a very scary moment. That's something that you need to consider when you've got this multi-class traffic happening. Jack Chrissy then second place for the moment, and he keeps seeing Tom O'Gorman disappear into the distance now. The lead is up to about 8 seconds, and it's everything he can try to keep Adam Kobach and Jake King behind him. Kobach and King continuing to fight now over third place. Kobach's found his way back into it, but Jake King is giving him the run of his life for the moment with less than 10 minutes to go.
Indeed, I gotta say, I'm honestly, this is one of them races I'd love to have been in. Race I would have it. Oh, that's loose. Come back there. Little bit of a twitch from the rear end, and I do not mean his backside. I mean the car, ladies and gentlemen, and that's exactly what Jake King was looking for. It's going to be an opportunity. Can he get it happening down into turn 1, turn 2? And indeed, he's ahead at the apex, but is it going to be enough on corner exit? Kobach fights back, as indeed these guys are still duking it out for the final spot of the podium.
That second apex of the Andretti hairpin, as long as you're protecting the inside into it, you'll usually find your way out, especially in the Porsche, which doesn't like responding too well to big changes of direction to try and keep it on the outside of that corner. But King's going to try up the inside at turn 5, gets the move, almost done there. It's wide for Kobach, and he is through. Let's see what Declan Ward can do to take advantage of all of this battling.
Indeed, them two guys fighting has opened up an opportunity here on the exit. He's got an absolutely fantastic run. Is it going to be enough going up into the corkscrew? It's a high-risk maneuver, but Kobach's got the inside, and Ward's going to have to wait, at least for now. Meanwhile, Jake King here is going to try and pull away from this pair of cars.
Yes, now that they're battling, this is the chance for Jake King to get his consistency up and try to build a gap. 8 minutes still left in the race. That's not a huge amount of time, but it's better than nothing as we find our way out of the final corner once again. Across the line, I'm seeing it's potentially 6 laps to go in the Porsche class, and Jack Chrissy, the fastest car on track that time by, but still needs to gain a couple of tenths to get towards Tom O'Gorman's fastest lap of a 121.4. Back a little bit further, Michael Brook on the back of Kevin Zhu. It looks like Adam Kobach has... he's gone off there. That was Kobach that they just made their way past there. Deep at the Andretti hairpin. Maybe contact with Declan Ward. I guess we'll find out momentarily.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Going into the braking zone, Declan Ward comes in, and yeah, that's the second hit for Ward.
Yep, a little bit of a biff on the way through the first apex there, and Adam Kobach will be none too happy with how that's worked out for him. But Declan Ward has made his way up into 4th and could potentially sit on the podium if he plays his cards right. Raul Iriarte, who has been losing places in the championship standings in recent rounds, trying to get a good result on here at Laguna Seca, currently sitting in 8th place. He's up 2 spots from where he started, and the recovering Adam Kobach up ahead of him as Michael Brook ahead has gotten a slowdown. This is not ideal for Michael Brook. Let's see what Kobach and Iriarte can do to make their way past. There's the slowdown being served, and Kobach will get past at least, but Iriarte is going to have to do a bit more work.
Yeah, fair play to him. Indeed, Adam Kobach down 1 position. Michael Brook holding steady there in P7 as well. But I've got to say, that's definitely Declan Ward. You're going a little bit spicy today, sir. Indeed, I would be suggesting you cool it down a little bit now. As Jake King now is going to be the next contender.
Yep, King and Ward now find themselves facing off for 3rd place as up the front, Tom O'Gorman has brought the fastest lap down to a 121.2. He is looking untouchable at the front of this field right now.
He is indeed, but we've actually got another battle going on as well. Let's take a look here at the back of the GR86 field. Ladies and gentlemen, Nelson Daniel and Kyle Linziata having an absolute beastie of a time here in the GR.
Yeah, indeed. Both of them starting towards the back of the GR86 field and not advancing too much further forward from that. But no matter where you are in a field like this, you have someone to race with. And they are proving that beautifully here at the moment. Got a bit of Porsche traffic coming up on them, so they'll need to be careful of that. It's Jack Chrissy, our second place car, that's going to make his way past them. And lots of room being given there from Carlin and Ziata into the final corner. Back to the battle for P6 in Porsche. Kobach still holding on to it. He's gotten the recovery on very nicely, but he lost quite a bit of time on the previous lap. This lap will see him setting a 1 minute 21.9, and that is quite a good pace at the moment. Michael Brook and Raul Iriarte, though, not only equaling him, but potentially faster as well. Iriarte with a 121.8 as he picked up the slipstream from Brook. Let's see if he can make up another position to make it 3 up from where he started.
Indeed, as we got the chats going, absolutely, it's pleasant chat today, and I do definitely enjoy it. It makes such a difference when commentating these events. But right now, there is realistically a pack of 4 cars here. Kevin Zhu leading that charge. As you indeed see that is Nelson Daniel. They're just making a pass on their Carl and Ziata. They have indeed cleared, but it looks like we've got a battle happening here in the GR86 field as well. Colin Denner, he's right up behind Michael Montero. This is a battle for the lead in GR.
Yeah, this is certainly nice and tight indeed. A 134.3 on the last lap for Michael Montello, playing a 134.0 for Denner, and he's off into the gravel. Oh, you saw a little bit of oversteer there for Michael Montello, and Denner thought he could take advantage, but the only thing he can do is get onto the back through turn 4. Let's see what turn 5 brings here. I love this corner. It's got a beautiful bowl shape to it, a lot of banking, and if you play your cards right, you've got some fantastic curb on the exit to use as well. But looks like a little deep there for Colin Denner, and he's going to lose touch with Montello momentarily as Porsche makes its way past.
Yeah, I believe that's Cameron Goop who's just made his way by as well. I think he actually started iRacing about a season ago. I remember him when he first joined him saying this how new a driver he was. Indeed, taking on the variety of cars. Indeed, some of the pace we've seen from some days has been nothing short of astonishing as well.
Yes, we've seen some really good performances from Cameron Guth as of recent. It's been a difficult one for him here at Laguna Seca, which is a bit of a polarizing track at times. I certainly have some difficulty around this place at times, but I still recognize that it's one of the best racetracks in the world. Alex Nickrad then. Oh, yeah! Whoa! That was tough there. Yeah, nice save from Anthony Montello. Ran a bit deep over the AstroTurf into the gravel. A little bit of oversteer then for the GR86 car. And Montello will lose that position for the moment, but it's still Montello's bookending the top 5 at the moment. Still on between Jake King and Declan Ward here. But, oh no, that's a spin for Louis Alessi.
Oh, Dr. Pepper just had too many bubbles on that one.
He's going to have to wait a little bit there to get it rolling again, as Anthony Montello now tries to get 4th place back from Alex Nickrad, but he gets squeezed. That is really tight indeed. Not enough room there to necessarily make the move on the way in, but on the way out, there's all the space in the world, and Montello nailing the power application. Side by side into turn 6. This is not ideal. It's really narrow, and he hits the curb on the way through, but completes the move.
I gotta say, that was a fantastic pass. It was terrifying, but indeed, Montello, he's got my heart racing tonight.
Certainly. I'm thinking the same. With Kevin Zhu now rounding out the battle for the top 5 in Porsche. Adam Kobach has gained back quite nicely, but he's getting chased still by Michael Brock and Raul Iriarte. I reckon these guys are going to have a rollicking final lap. Speaking of the final lap, it's about to start. Tom O'Gorman, with nearly 9 seconds in the lead, is going to take the white flag this time by, so the pressure for this battle is on.
Yeah, as much as we do love seeing Tom O'Gorman absolutely have a fantastic race right now, there's just so much going on indeed. As Declan Ward, he's definitely been a little bit spicy this evening, but indeed, is Jake King going to be able to hold on to that 3rd position? He is the hardest charger in this 911 Cup field. He's up 5 spots. He's been driving the absolute wheels off of this Porsche, but it looks like it's not going to be enough here. As Declan Ward looking to try to make a move around turn 1, turn 2.
Tight line for Jake King. He'll keep the position for the moment, but you can see that Ward's carrying a few extra miles an hour at the apex, and this could be an opportunity for an over-under for him, but it's difficult to switch back with the flat nature of the corners in this part of the circuit. Could turns 5 be where he makes it? Round the outside, question mark. We'll see if Declan Ward will be able to do it. Jake King maintaining the position as the battle continues up the hill into turn 6. Declan Ward was thinking about it for sure, but it looks like he's going to have to stay behind up the hill. This battle for third in 911 Cup has been magnificent. They've got some traffic ahead here on the final lap as well, so there's plenty more to come from the battles further back in the field. Up the front though, Tom O'Gorman exiting the final corner. He's going to take victory at Laguna Seca by a country mile. 9.3 seconds, the gap for the lead in the end, with Jack Chrissy a distant second and a very lonely second as well. It's third place where the battle is, and that's off for Declan Ward. He's going to lose touch with Jake King on the run to the line.
I gotta say, what an absolutely fantastic battle. And indeed, I think if we had another 10 minutes, we had an even more battle. Kevin Zhu there leading a charge here of 4 cars himself, Kobach, Brock, and indeed Raul Iriarte all duking it out for a good portion of that race there. As let's head a little bit further back here as Montello and Denner having a little bit of celebration there as well. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gloves are off, ladies and gentlemen. Gloves indeed are off. What a fantastic battle in the closing stages of that race, though.
Yeah, indeed. Montello winning the GR86 class from Colin Denner in the end, and we're still waiting for a few more drivers to make their way across the line. Unfortunately, Benson Tai has had a problem in the last few minutes and has had to tow back to the pits, so he'll join Thomas Lathrop as potentially the second retiree from this race. But that looks like the last few cars making their way past there. Our stationary camera at the final corner, Klaus Wood, going to bring it to the line with Nelson Daniel. And, oh no, actually, there's still Kyle Annunziata left to take the finish, making his way through the last couple of corners. No problem. We're going to give him a little more airtime here in the number 7. Ultimately, up 2 overall positions, up 1 position in class for Kyle Annunziata. Bit of a quiet one, but it was it was happening all around him. Oh yeah, that's
himself
not
and
ideal.
Benson Tai. Oh. Attaboy.
Okie dokes. Yep, don't need the car anymore. Cross the line. Yes, even if it's just a few meters afterwards. All right, the results then. We're going to be seeing Tom O'Gorman take victory by 9.25 seconds in the end from Jack Chrissy. Jake King fending off Declan Ward in the late stages for third. Kevin Zhu winning the battle for P5 with Adam Kobach, Michael Brook and Raul Iriarte rounding out the top 8 there. Very close battle for those positions. Mike Leader finishing in 9th place, and Max King's going to round out your top 10. Wally Heidecek losing 2 spots. He'll finish 11th. Cameron Guth and Klaus Wood, the last finishers in our Porsche Cup class, with Thomas Lathrop being the sole retirement.
As we take a look here at the GR86 field, a little bit actually more spread out than it has been on some other races, but don't get me wrong, some good racing nonetheless. Michael Montello takes the win today with Colin Denner in second. Ken Housel having to settle for third. Alex Nickman definitely saw some potential for him today. He took 4th with Anthony Montello in 5th. Charles Miller takes 6th with Mark McLuey in 7th. Brian Taylor in 8th, and Albert Nago in 9th with Louis Alessi, the Dr. Pepper man himself, in 10th. I've got to say, if I don't drink pop, but if I did, it would be Dr. Pepper. Nelson Daniel takes 11th with Kyle Annunziata having a rather exuberant race finish there with himself in 12th. Benson Tai in 13th, and Jonathan Crane didn't look like he started the race. He was there in 14th.
Indeed. And that's going to be our field. And it's time for a chat with some of our drivers. First up, let's have a chat to Tom O'Gorman, who won the Porsche Cup class. DJ Alessandrini absent for this one, so it was a great opportunity for points, Tom, and you certainly capitalized on that. Pole to the win, but far from that simple with all of the GR86 traffic out there.
Yeah, I actually have to thank DJ for racing for me tonight. I know the account shows that, but yeah, he did a great job. And I was a proud crew chief for this one. I'm totally kidding. I wanted to see if I could get it going, but now I feel bad. Yeah, it was really fun. I got a new rig a couple weeks ago, and I've just been kind of firing on all cylinders more often than ever before, with kind of things feeling right in the way I expect them to be. Most of the time I feel like I'm driving around trying to hit muscle memory, and I've been finding myself in these grooves where I actually feel what the car's doing, and it's been cool.
Excellent stuff. Laguna Seca has certainly given you a good amount of pace here today. So with the conclusion of the season coming up in just a couple of weeks' time, we've got one more points paying round and a special event to end off the season. I bet you're looking forward to capping off the season on a high with the form that you've had in these last few weeks.
Yeah, I like Donington Park as well. I think that's the last one. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fun to be able to race with my friends and kind of have things go better than I always feel they do. I kind of find myself in a negative mindset towards the Sims sometimes, and it's fun to have some success with it. So yeah, I should thank my friends, specifically DJ Alessandrini, for being patient with me when I'm going through it. But it's fun to have the new rig, working better.
Absolutely. We'll definitely enjoy that one, Tom, and congratulations on the dominant performance today. We'll be seeing you next time. Zippy, I understand you've had a chance to catch up with Jack Chrissy, who finished second.
Well, I've got to say, Jack, definitely a tough set of circumstances here. Tell us a little bit what it was like here, trying to navigate your way through the traffic of the GR86s. Now, it might just be
Jack.
me. Yeah, okay, you can't hear me either.
No. Unfortunately, Jack Chrissy with no active microphone for the moment, so I think we should grab our GR86 podium in the end. Michael Montello, Colin Denner, and Ken Housel will be joining us in just a moment here. Quite the battle for the front, starting with Michael. Yeah, that was really intense there.
Yeah, that's an understatement. I wasn't prepared for just how chaotic the Porsches were going to be when they were all stacked up with each other. So when Tom blew by, I was like, oh wow, the closing speed is crazy. But then when 5 of them blew by me all at the same time, yeah, that was pretty scary. It kept me on the edge of my seat. I had a couple of close encounters with them, but thankfully was able to kind of keep it all together and stay ahead.
Yeah, indeed, but it was an incredibly tight battle indeed, involved with Colin Denner. Colin, you started this one having to make up a few overall places over the course of the race. How were you finding it out there in the GR86s?
Well, my race pace surprised me. I was definitely planning on falling in behind Alex and trying to see how the pace shook out, and once I passed him, it was just a matter of keeping up with Ken and Michael, not falling out of the draft or anything. And the Porsches really are what kept the playing field level. Every time they came around, the delta would drop, and it would allow something to happen. But towards the end, I had nothing for Michael.
Well, there's certainly a lot of potential for future battles at the last 2 points paying rounds of the championship at Donington and VIR. Ken, to you then, 3rd place in the end, and it was a position or 2 lost, but you certainly kept yourself or kept the top 2 honest there towards the end.
Yeah, I was just telling these guys, my qualifying, I ran to 33.9, and I was like, well, that didn't feel amazing, but that's a pretty solid time. And whatever. These guys have been real fast all week, and then I'm like, oh, that's pole. Okay, cool. I was surprised, and then in the race was the first couple laps I felt pretty solid, and then Michael got back into the groove, and it was like, okay, yeah, I don't have the pace, and I'm not going to be in the lead of this race for long. I could run consistent 34.2s, but they were just a little faster, so that's all I had tonight.
Well, regardless, a podium is certainly not off the cards there, and it'll certainly help your points paying positions there in the last few rounds of the championship. The battle is going to still be very tight for that championship top 3 in GR86, and you 3 all have a chance to grab it, depending on how the results go. Thanks very much for joining us, guys. We appreciate you coming along, and thanks for giving us a lot of entertainment out there too.
Yeah,
thanks,
no
Reese.
Thanks,
guys. Take it easy.
Awesome stuff from our GR86 podium there. Michael Montello, Colin Denner, and Ken Housel. And with that, Zippy, it looks like that's going to be the conclusion of our show here. Another great round of the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League. We've got Donington coming up next week, and then Virginia International Raceway, the last points-paying round of the season before we cap things off with a special event in 3 weeks' time. We're starting to bring things to a close here.
Indeed, and it's definitely, it's always that bittersweet part of the season, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely love having you guys on board. Indeed, the chat's been fantastic as well. Probably my favorite chat that we do is indeed the WDCR, because it's not just, it's not just a bunch of guys racing, it's a community as well, and you can feel the difference. And for myself, I enjoy it even more, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, sometimes the racing's incredibly tight, sometimes it's not as tight. But you guys in the chat, you always give you roast us as well as we roast the guys in here, and it adds to it, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, I'd love it if we keep going all summer myself. Certainly, I'm definitely going to drop some subtle hints. But last reminder before we do indeed go, if you want to come and beat myself and Reese Gardner on the track, well, put your money where your mouth is. Come on out there. It's free to enter. If you've been in a Pit Road Productions broadcast before, by all means come along. If you're indeed a respectful friend of anybody who has, that's fine too. Just shoot me a message just so I know who's coming, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, it's pretty open. If we had a grid full of 50, 60 cars, honestly, it'd probably bring me to tears. That would be, we had my Valentine's present. That was, 1,000 subs. I can't think of something to celebrate for this one, other than the fact 250 shows, ladies and gentlemen. That's a pretty good deal. And indeed, we hit the 1,000 subs. We are up and growing, and we're looking to push even harder. We're even trying to be a little bit more active on Instagram. And by that, when people tag me in posts, I just hit add to story and say, yes, I don't have a clue what I'm doing. But by all means, come on out. We're going to have 2 races, the Spec Racer Ford at Donington Park GP. Before heading over to the Radical SL10 at Road Atlanta. It is going to be a fixed setup, just basically a test of drive, test of skill, and it is broadcast as well. We may even try and sort out some prizes. We'll have a look, ladies and gentlemen. We certainly want to see what the attendance is going to be like as well before we get into that. But certainly, before we get too excited, Reese, it's probably my saddest part of the night. We should probably bring the show to a close for this evening.
Yes, it's time for us to say goodbye for now on Pit Road Productions. We'll be going live next on Monday night for the almost conclusion of the Podium 1 Fixed Series Championships. So that's when we're going to be on next. Mark that in your calendar if you want to see some more fantastic racing here on Pit Road Productions. A huge thanks to the field in the WDCR SCCA Virtual Racing League as well as all of their associated partners, sponsors, and supporters: OG Racing, Radial Tire Company, RP Performance, Belmont Classic Cars, and Grand Touring Enterprises. You helped to make this broadcast happen, and we appreciate you a million years to the moon and back. My name's Reese Gardner, Daniel Zippy Salmon alongside me in the commentary box here on Pit Road Productions. We'll see you next time.